Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up? Artist Week 2. You feel me? First and foremost, my name is Kobe Selby, and I am an artist in recovery. So I'm taking the artist's way to find some type of relief. So yeah, we did week 2, and week 2 was good. I liked week 2. Week 2 was titled Recovering a Sense of Identity. And I think for me, that was very important. And once again, we are tapping into The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And this week, I made it a goal to, take notes, highlight, underline, as I go, and really, just talk about note what resonates with me as a artist in recovery. And but this week was cool. This week had a lot of knowledge. I should also say in preface, I did week 2 weeks ago, and I guess that's something I have to confess, I haven't been consistent with the videos, and I see that consistency is an issue of mine. So, finding out these things in the name of recovery. I want to talk about things that just resonated, things that make some space, things that just things that resonated, things that I took heed to, noted, and I'm taking with me. In the beginning, one thing that I noted was we may feel and look erratic. This erraticism is a normal part of getting unstuck. So in the process of this recovery, I feel like you will have moments where you will be frustrated and angry at yourself and screaming, woe is me, and all that, but that's all part of the process, and I feel like you gotta embrace that. She also says, she follows that by saying, it is important to remember that at first flush, going sane feels just like going crazy. And that was just it's not it's going to feel, it's gonna feel crazy. I feel and I say that because I got all these ideas, I got all these things that I want to do, but I'm realizing that as I'm pursuing these ideas, I need to give myself a little grace and just how do I put it? Just give myself grace. But I'm realizing within that it feels nuts. It feels like I'm going insane because I haven't really grasped what I want. I don't know if that made sense, but it made sense to me. I just know sometimes when as I'm going on this creative discovery of myself, I just feel I guess it's self-doubt that creeps in. I guess it's just different things that creep in and make me feel like I'm not okay. And then she says, as we gain strength, so will some of the attacks of self-doubt. And that is true. And that resonates. I feel like it'd be something, bro. It'd be as I know these ideas are strong, but then I'm man, is it though? You feel me? Is it? 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 are these goals, is this song, is this poem fire like I think it is? Are people gonna really resonate with it? But that's all hoopla and whatever. Let's move on. Just as a recovering alcoholic must avoid the first drink, the recovering artist must avoid taking the first think. So I guess saying after my rant and all, like, yeah, dog, like, not all these moments of self-doubt, not all these things are true. You feel me? Like, not all these negative thoughts are true. I think there's a difference between, I mean, our inner critic is always going to be kind of like hard on us, but sometimes I feel like there's this deliberate negative voice that wants to see you fail. But it's like, first of all, you're an illusion. That voice is an illusion. It's not real. And what is real is this, you know, me inhabiting this blood and bone that I got going on. And I gotta trust that, and I gotta stay grounded in that. So as I'm recovering, I don't want to give in to these things that will pull me back and maybe put me in a situation or a path where I'm practicing bad habits. So there's that. Do not let your self-doubt turn into self-sabotage. It speaks for itself. And the next subtopic, and I don't want to take too long, but creativity flourishes when we have a sense of safety and self-acceptance. Your artist, like a small child, is happiest when feeling a sense of security. I feel like I naturally do that. I feel like I'm naturally protective, and I have my mantle and my pillar to protect me as I'm moving forward on my artistic journey. But that's just something I heed to. But I don't want to take too long with this. But yeah, all of that, just like this recovery process, it's a lot. Like, because especially if you're an artist like me that has so many ideas, so many brilliant ideas, there needs in the nuance of things of having to rediscover yourself and actually put something out. You need to give yourself some grace. You need to give yourself some breathing room, and it can be challenging when you're eager and possibly impatient like me, but we get through it, don't we? We get through it. Morning pages is a time between you and God, and like that was just, I was just like, yeah. So I've been consistent with my morning pages, like just to show. I've already filled out these two. I mean, these were like journals that I was already working in, but then like as I was doing my morning pages, I finished up in this one, and then I finished up in this one, and that just goes to tell you, as a writer, like I embrace that. Like, it's been phenomenal. There was a lot of other interesting things. She talked about being a crazy maker, and I feel like a crazy maker is just like a narcissistic asshole who, when you're indulging in creative projects. I would never be that. I'm always a team player, but I love that she listed that out, because in terms of professionalism, you don't want to be difficult. What else? I don't want to take too long. Um, Many times in trying to be good sports, we stuff our feelings of doubt. We need to stop doing that and explore them instead. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Sometimes you gotta pop out. Sometimes you gotta like indulge in those ideas, all of it, and just be like, yeah, I'm just F it. Like I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna figure this out. If it flops, it flops. If it like fail big and then move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I heed to that. The reason we think it's weird to imagine an unseen helping hand is that we still doubt that it's okay for us to be creative. That I feel like is very layered, but I will say that if you don't believe in yourself, then how do you believe in a higher power? And if you don't believe in a higher power, then how do you believe in yourself and your ability to create? We've got to be brave enough to try to recover, or we've got to be brave enough to try recovery. Yeah. Yeah. There were so many good things in this. So many good things, but I'm going to move forward to the tasks she had us do. And then I'm going to kind of just, talk about what I've been through. But talk about what I've been through in week 2. Let's find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. That's week 2. Okay, week 2. Week 2, she had us every day, morning and night, be quiet and focus and read the basic principles to yourself. Be like, can you? So, did I do that? I think I just like read my affirmations. Yeah. I read my affirmations for that one. That one was kind of vague to me, I'm not gonna lie. But I did it. Hold on, bro. Yeah, I did that one. Affirmative reading. And she said, can you see yourself setting aside any skepticism yet? And like skepticism towards your work. I'm be honest, I'm still working on that. But I feel like with the affirmations, like affirming to myself of how much of a real brother I am with my work, I feel like I can do it. Like I feel like I can do anything. The second task was like, she asked, where does your time go? And list your 5 major activities this week. How much time did you give to each one? Which were you wanted to do? Which were what you wanted to do, and which were shoulds? How much of your time is spent helping others and ignoring your own desires? Have any of your blocked friends triggered doubts in you? So let's start with that first part because it's a 2-part activity. Am I on the right week, bro? Yes, I am. For the 5 major activities I do in a week, primarily in a week. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Primarily in a week, I said like I go to church, and then I help my mother out at home. I went to a cookout. I helped out there. Went to a funeral, cookout, and I helped out there, I think. But like, I see that with all 5 activities, it was a common thing. I was giving a lot of my time away.